city of Rome, according to the descriptions of all the historians of that time. And in the middle of those palaces was situated the artificial lake of Nero. And near this lake, Nero ordered to raise an enormous statue, 25 meters tall, was Colossus of Nero in gleamed bronze, picturing Nero as a god of the sun, Helios. When Emperor Nero died suicide, Imperial Dynasty Flavian came to the throne, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, and they began by building this entertainment free of charge place, the greatest, the most beautiful, and the most expensive amphitheater they ever built in all the history of Roman civilization. Okay, so Amphitheater Flavian was the right name of this place. The first of the Imperial Dynasty Flavian, Vespasian, started the construction of the Colosseum in the 72 after Christ. In 80 after Christ, his son succeeding him on the imperial throne, the Emperor Titus, inaugurated after just 8 years of the construction. He inaugurated this amphitheater with 100 days of the shows in a row inside the amphitheater, so enjoyed by all the population. And from this moment on, the shows will run inside this amphitheater absolutely free of charge for all the population. Everybody was allowed here independently what was the social group they were representing, anyone, literally. So before the Colosseum construction, though, another important event happened: the destruction of the Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem. Okay, because the Romans needed a lot of extra money, extra workforce, extra financial means, extra materials, and they were precious, employed in building and the construction of this amphitheater. So Vespasian joined his son Titus in sieging Jerusalem. In Judea province was going on a very, very huge revolt. At that time, the province was very revolted always. Gave a lot of headaches to the Romans, but this time they decided to dominate the province. And then entered into the city. Roman army burned down and plundered savagely Jerusalem temple. That was the aim. They brought away unprecedented, quintessential war booty, war loot, and also 100,000 slaves, Jewish slaves, were brought away from the Judea province. And from this war booty, they started to build this amphitheater. So first and foremost, Jewish people were sent directly to the quarries, 30 kilometers far away from Rome, to cut those travertine blocks that the Colosseum is built from mostly. Okay, it was the hardest work. Many of them died in the works because they were employed in detaching the slabs from the rock and then working them out in a square shape. So they were working in impossible conditions from the dawn to the sunset. And then the same slaves were employed in the construction of the Colosseum. By draining the lake of Nero, the Romans saved a lot of time. They didn't have to dig for the foundations, so they didn't waste the time. They started out the works immediately, and so this is to explain the speed with which the Romans managed to build so quickly this amphitheater. Indeed, just in 8 years. But actually, it was explained by the fact that they had already the foundation platform ready. They just placed some pilasters and travertine, beautiful concrete donut, and from they started to build the Colosseum walls. Obviously, the simple slaves employed in the hardest work in construction, they were overseen and managed by workforce, qualified and skillful workforce. They were genius, literally architects, plumbers, designers, and constructors, builders who were building this amazing, flawless amphitheater, just flawless. And me for the rest of the day. After the excursion. Amazing. So this is the explanation of where the Romans get all those money to build something like that. Because although they had money to burn, of course, but even to them it was very expensive. Building, they employed a mass of them, very precious materials, marble, travertine. Obviously, it costs a lot of money, of course. So by building this amphitheater, Vespasian and the family, Flavian family, they immediately got the trust, the love of the Romans, because they were highlighting they were nothing like their predecessor, Emperor Nero, and they were actually casting themselves as an anti-Nero. So they were giving back to the Roman population what Nero expropriated for himself. And by then they became very famous, very loved by all the population immediately. Titus, who inaugurated the amphitheater, ruled just a couple of years, and he was poisoned almost immediately by his brother Domitian. And so Domitian added some more structures afterwards during his reign, and he was last of the Flavian dynasty. But what they left of the Nero's building here, they left standing the Colossus. They left it alone. They left it amongst all the constructions of Nero. They left the Colossus standing here because it was an amazing statue, and they decided to recycle it. So they carved every time the Romans, every time the emperor changed, they carved a new face to the colossal statue. The Colossus was standing here till Middle Age, then probably was melted down, destroyed. But people of Rome, in the memory of this colossal, amazing statue, started to call the amphitheater Flavian Colosseo, Colossal. And from there, this nickname, the popular name, Colosseo, Colossal. In reality, the right name is Amphitheater Flavian, but it was too long to pronounce, so Colosseum was shorter, much shorter. Okay, we are going ahead in this corridor.
And I will show you who sat where.
That's alright, it'll come back.
How the museum was structured. Come, please, closer. And then behind you, the stage, please, invented by the Romans by uniting two half shapes in circular theaters. They obtained amphitheater, double theater. So it was the Roman proper invention, Roman proper building, and by that they were highlighting. They admired and loved Greek architecture that they used also for city structural decoration, and they surpassed Greek civilization, because by building the Colosseum, they were highlighting the supremacy of all the subjugated countries and civilizations, like Greek one as well, and they were the new power, the Roman power. So the expression of this new power was also the amphitheater involved by the Romans. Now we are in the inaugural entrance, which we know already, they didn't use that much, what we say. In front of it, on another side of the arena, is situated Authorities Gate. 1, 2, 3 knock number arches, what supposed to be the Authorities Gate. So people of VIP, luxury people and members of the society, the most powerful, such as senators, this Vestal Virgins, who the privileged demi-goddess, the middle people, of the loro, the facade, the whole numbers, numbers. On the main axis, because the Colosseum has a elliptical shape, the Romans wanted to keep as much people as they could, so it's not round, it's elliptical shape. On the main axis are situated the gladiator gates. They weren't used as a grass area. They were just to show. So it's the door on the left and the door on the right. Side. You will see that the 1, 2, 3 circle of the concentrical arcades. The Colosseum is formed by area interrupted on both sides. You can just this survive, while all the rest is gone, is lost. It's one area. On both sides you see the reconstruction in grey color because they were crumbling walls continuously. So in 19th century, by these 50 years on both sides, we prevented the further crumbling of the materials from the remaining walls. And then this was the restoration, consisting of that, because they left the Colosseum as natural as they could. After 19th century, no any other dramatic reconstructions were undertaken ever. So this is the last part, the side wall and ruins. So overall, the Colosseum lost over time 2/3 of its structure. Okay? Were they the barbarians? Do you imagine them running away with slabs of marble or blocks of granite? Were they the weather conditions? Of course no. Italy is amazing, always, always. Even better. Well, sometimes. Who knows it? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
You can see, right? Like all the pieces in the marble that are missing are like squares. They were harvesting. We already learned this.
So there's the Colosseum. It shows it there with the roof on it, the silk. See?
The engineering and architectural points of construction, very solid, very steady. Wait a second.
Bricks from bricks. That's what they literally did.
¿Cuál era algo ahí?
Iron. The iron was used in the form of the clamps. With each iron clamps, the Romans assembled together some of the blocks of the travertine, just for further reasons. Long process, just to remove all the clamps, taking them away from the Colosseum, putting them everywhere. That's why the Colosseum is going to close, okay? Now, any one of you needs to use the elevator, any knee injury, any other, where's the family? Okay, you can use the elevator if you want. Yes, it's on the right-hand side. Perfect. And we're getting on the second floor. Using the stairs. Any side of you guys, anyone.
I don't know if you heard that. It was like a Middle Ages. They removed all that iron that was used in the bricks.
Was working. How did they organize people entering here? How many people there were? From 50,000 up to 78,000 people. This was the capacity of the Colosseum. So enormous quantity of people, and they were neatly organized. You know, they were organized in 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers, composing this cavea. Cavea, the whole name of all the sitting area. All the places were distributed according to your status quo and according to your wealth. Obviously, all the spectators were organized with a ticket, a real ticket in their hands. The tickets were called the texere. Let's come closer to me. Texere. And those tickets was in pottery or wood. And on this ticket was stated precisely the number of the gate. You remember they were all numbered. The number of the gate and the number of the sector. So they were entering in 15 minutes, filling up the Colosseum and emptying the Colosseum still in a very organized way. Entering everybody, having the ticket through the number gate precisely, through the number of the corridors, was getting to those gates leading you to your sitting area reserved for your category, for every category sitting area. And those entrances into the cavea were called vomitoria because they were spilling out people with such a force and such a speed that crowds seemed like liquid, filling everything around very quickly. Indeed, vomitoria. So first two tiers were in marble. They were the four most important luxury VIP people. On the first tier was seating people with the names on their marble seat. Another privilege was refreshments during the spectacles served by the slaves. Second tier, same thing, marble, but no names, no refreshments. Then the wall was following because they didn't want to be at the contact with the filthy plebs. You know, they had to stay away. So the wall was dividing, and then travertine seats for middle class, low middle class, and finally for rubbish people added by Domitian, a real wooden tier, but they were mostly standing rather than sitting over there, and that was for rubbish people who was women, slaves, and the poorest. Okay, yes, women was also rubbish people because Roman society was deeply patriarchal. Okay, the woman had to sit all the way up, go all the way up. once you leave the sand was already clean. So it was very providing many shows following so underneath the arena, not immediately but after 10 first years of the five, the Roman and Venetian big priests and dungeons. They were added after later. Those dungeons or hyperfilm are underground area was fundamental to the shows and traditions. They were employing the mechanics and machinery situated underneath the arena. It wasn't visible to the spectators because the arena was completely covered by the wooden floor, right? But in the wooden floor, they built into the deadly traps, the trapdoors. And all the pavement was lined by those trapdoors. And they were connected with all respective elevators. There were 6 elevators, and they were composed by upstream. The main wheel turned around by 8 men at a time. They were absolutely astonishing. So they were found by a group of the archaeologists. They even reconstructed one of them, proposing how it was looking. Only the cage, raised and lowered, alone, the cage was weighing 600 kilos. Only the cage, empty cage for the animals. Imagine all the elevator how it was, how much it was weighing. Indeed, used in those elevators a number of the rods, pulleys, and counterweights, so that they distributed the weight. So these mechanics, those machinery, was divided underneath the real chambers of the machinery. Releasing it to the arena, the arch was raised by the elevator, the lead was becoming the ramp on which people or animals jumped into the arena. So as that result, the seating and center position spectators, they were observing appearing and disappearing people and props and animals into the arena and then disappearing again. So that but they were very similar to what we use today, nowadays, for the machinery. Tilting huge platforms to deliver huge animals such as rhinos and elephants and rhinos. Here is the magic
So the miniature Roman scam going on underground.
Les gens, ils ont
Delarium, the awning used by the Romans to cover all the arena and protect, isolate all the spectators in kind of by this beautiful element, so-called velarium. It was made of many sails put together, and it was maneuvered by hundreds of the slaves, okay? Not slaves, sorry, sailors. The sailors were maneuvering this velarium, this awning, isolating all the spectators from the rain, from the sun, because they were watching the show all day long. By the way, it was divided in 3 parts. And the show was lasting all day long. Obviously, they wouldn't be very comfortable to sit under the sun and the heat, etc., etc. So they were covered by this comfortable. That's why the holes that I showed you at the beginning, in those holes, they were for the poles in wood, put vertically, and on those poles they were stretching this velarium. Okay, on the main piazza beyond the territory of the Colosseum, on the next piazza, there are the ruins of the main barrack and main training school of the gladiators. It was called the Ludus Magnus, and it was connected to the underground part of the Colosseum by the underground passageway of 80 meters. So the gladiators were part of demigods, and on the very top was shiny gleamed bronze shields. So they were symbolizing the subjugated territories, and this was the amazing view of the Colosseum, which was the proud for the Romans. They were super excited. Then it was an amazing day out to watch the spectacles inside the Colosseum. This is the condition of the Colosseum by 19th century. It was reduced to miserable conditions. Crumbling walls, already some missing pilasters here and there, and just half a part of the arena and internal walls. So now we enter into this area.
Si mischiano tutti.
So when the Colosseum stopped to be the entertainment place, in 6th century after Christ, we have the inscriptions which are dated back to 523. This is highly likely was the last year of the spectacles inside the Colosseum. And after this moment, stopping to be the show industry entertainment place, it started to be forgotten, to fell in decline, neglect, abandonment, completely vandalized and plundered throughout many, many centuries. Till the 19th century, nobody cared, nobody knew what is there.
हम इतनी लेफ्ट में तो नहीं आए थे जब हम चढ़ के आए थे.
So they were building to raise the prestige of the papal law.
That anchor. You guys can't see it, but I'm looking down. Fuji.
Absolutely. So, where we are going, right? We're going on that side. Can you see over there? We will stop there.
Lasciamo uno spazio ai gruppi sulla destra gentilmente dalla parte.
See, because it's let me check.
Eles meio que abandonaram o Coliseu e começaram a construir as praças, as outras coisas que a gente vai mostrar. E aí eles não hesitaram em pegar as coisas daqui, tudo que era valioso, né? Mármores, pedras, essas coisas, para levar para outros lugares para construir. Por isso que foi meio que agora meio abandonado, assim, vandalizado.
Let's keep there's a group that has been parked right there. Mettiamoci da una parte gentilmente, santo Dio, per fare lezione qua.
Santo figlio.
Guarda che roba, c'è lo spazio a scena. Occupiamolo, no? Occupiamolo. Spostali, portali sul lato.
Allora, chi ha finito di fare le foto si sieda qua.
La vaca caída,
Deve frio. Aí vai ver, vete de gato lá, vai.
Was used as a base to hide the Belgian people for many
you see someone leaving.
Là in basso esiste un fondo sotterraneo.
I wonder if the next Super Bowl would be pretty.
see the free place to take your amazing picture of the Colosseum. Nowadays you can observe the how it was covering the dome, which way, when it was situated respectively to the first tier of the city.
Would you mind taking a photo of the chair? Appreciate it. Thank you.
Fazendo várias. Obrigada. Thank you.
The excavations they found over there
It's diferente. Do you want me to take some for you guys? Oh, that'd be so nice. Thank you. I've just gone ham on it.
Thank you. No, that's great. Do you want one?
Maybe I'll try one. No, the States, New York. You sound exactly like one of my old images. Oh, really? Yeah. We live in New York City. Oh, wow. Yeah. This is my birthday.
Derrière la croix, la impériale, c'est là. Et tout autour, une place pour le cimetière.
power used to keep under their control Roman people. Okay, so the shows were lasting all day long. After Domitian built the dungeons, the Naumachia, the reenacting of the Moxie battles weren't unable anymore. But they enhanced the shows significantly by providing the special effects during the spectacles. So the spectacles were divided in three main parts. First part of the day were the Venatinas, the battles of the animals. The animals were coming from all sides of the empire, but especially from Africa because they loved exotic animals. They were bears, deers, wolves, but also giraffes, and ostriches, crocodiles, and many other very unusual animals. They were chained together to constrict them to fight, or they were hunted by special hunters, whose death wasn't provided, by the way. They were professionals. Midday was dedicated to the public executions. They were also proposed in the shape and the form of the spectacles. For example, if you were condemned to do that, they would dress you up, let's say, as Icarus. They would catapult you through the arena, you would fly for real and smash on the floor for real, because they were reenacting of the mythology episodes. They were reenacting of the fairy tales, ending up with the death of the major protagonist, who was the criminal condemned to the death. So it wasn't ever just beheading somebody. It was very boring, you know, to the spectators. It wasn't spectacle. they spectacularized all kinds of the death inside the slaughterhouse. So those walls that surrounding us nowadays, they witnessed a lot of death around. They also threw people onto the arena and then observed how animals raced to the arena by the elevators were devouring them because the animals were hungered and trained to attack the humans. And also the first tier, which was luxury people, very powerful. They were protected by iron, very tall and very thick net. But there's a reason. The animals were deadly dangerous. And then also the Christians, they were crucified in mass, or they were burned alive, because the Christians were challenging the authority of the Roman emperor. The emperor was the god, so they wouldn't allow ever to worship somebody else, like Jesus or somebody else. However, the Romans allowed to all the populations living in ancient Rome, and it literally was multiracial civilization, by the way. They got all the nations here, all people, all the foreigners of all the kinds. And those foreigners living in Rome, they brought their own pagan cults in here. But the Romans allowed them to worship their gods with just one condition. They had to worship their emperor as well. The only ones who were refusing categorically to worship the emperor were the Christians. That's why they were persecuted. And that's why under the rule of Nero, Apostle Peter and Paul as well, they were martyred in Rome and they were buried in the city. Their tombs are holy places for all the Christianity situated in the city. Coming back to the Christians, it wasn't the only place the Christians were killed en masse, and not always here, but it was, let's say, the most famous. Afterwards, the gladiators' fights. The gladiators' fights, they appeared, they born not obviously together with the Colosseum construction, of course not, because they born earlier, much earlier. They were the human sacrifices to the gods during the funeral celebrations in honor of deceased people. Indeed, their fightings were called munera, the gifts. They were the gifts to the gods, human victims. But instead of killing them or sacrificing them simply, they were constricting them to fight together to the death. And this practice was undertaken by all the populations of this, not only Italian peninsula, but any other populations as well. So they were, from human sacrifices, became then professional fighters. You know, they were trained on purpose, they had armor, they had special weapons as well. The most ancient was the gladius, very short sword they were fighting with. That's why they were called the gladiators, on the sword. So there were many kinds of gladiators at the end, but some of them were quite famous. Marmilian, Traxus, Provocator, Retiarius was the most famous kinds of gladiators. But there were many, many kinds, actually. Some of them, as you can observe, they were heavily armored. Even the faces were armored, as if they were the human tanks or Iron Man. Others were just apparently vulnerable and almost naked. I give you some sensational information that we obtained studying the mass cemeteries found by us in Halicarnas, in Pompeii as well, not even in Rome. The studying of their bodies, of their bones, of their habits allowed to us to obtain a lot of sensational information. The gladiators weren't all war prisoners. This is wrong. Many of them, more than half, were volunteering. Who on earth would be the gladiator, you would say? Don't forget that a lot of people were very poor. They had nothing to lose. Maybe they were involved in gambling and lost all their money because there were plenty of debts. They were of the low instruction. And whoever was easy money, easy fame, easy becoming sex symbols, were enrolling at that time into the gladiators. You had the splendid possibility to survive and win a lot of praise and money, a lot of money immediately. So they were risking their life, of course, but there were many of the volunteering gladiators. The gladiators, if they survived over 2-3 years and obtained a lot of victories, actually could, and they did. They won their own freedom. They were released from all the bonds of the slavery by the emperor himself in this case, or win the prize in money. But most of the bodies we found in the cemeteries were in their mid-20s, while the average age of men at that time was 48. Not that long as well. However, that was the average. So the life wasn't very long, let's say. We don't know how many of them died during the exhibitions. They were 40 pairs exhibiting into the arena simultaneously, not just one. And they are unlikely to fight with the animals. They were the hunters on purpose for that. So that was the mistake in the film Gladiator. But as you know already, the appearing as for nowhere animals, props, and men into the arena wasn't the Hollywoodian effect, but it was the Roman effect provided by special machinery and mechanics underneath the arena. The gladiators weren't skinny. If they were too skinny, they were fed a little bit more. Why? They had to build a little bit of fat on them. Not obviously as a sumo fighters, but the fat was good. They were on carbs. On carbs, indeed, the Romans love to call them the carbs eaters. The fat was protective. When they fought, they received a lot of blows and cuts on their bodies. And the Romans found that more entertaining and more spectacular when they, full of blood from the cuts, kept on fighting because the wounds weren't deep. They were protecting. The fat was protective. And if they were skinny, the cuts would get to the bones directly. The fat was stopping. Okay, so there were plenty of blood, shedding the blood everywhere, any movement, but they will keep on fighting. That was spectacular to the Romans. So they were like pigs, fed on purpose, you know, a little bit. Their bones were very robust because we found in their bones the calcium, natural calcium, lots of it. So the Romans elaborated maybe first in history sport supplement of the calcium. They obtained the special ashes, burning the woods and animal bones. The ashes were mixed to the water, and with this potion, they were administrating to the gladiators the natural calcium. Their bones were straightened like that, okay? The gladiators, if they were condemned to the death, the gladiator condemned to the death was condemned to the death. If they were still alive, they were ended up into the arena. In this case, a man dressed up as a Charon, the god transporting the souls in the underworld, would appear into the arena. All was theatrical, all was spectacular. He would hit the hand of the gladiator, the head of the gladiator with an enormous hammer. Afterwards, hooked by the feet, he was dragged away by the ropes in the usual way. All the bodies piled up in the auditorium were dressed out from their armor and their weapons. They were sent back to the Lanista, from whom they were rented. All the gladiator schools and barracks spread in all the empire were private. The Lanista, the master of the gladiator school, was the investor. They were providing the food, the barrack, the training, the armor, and also all the weapons. Obviously, for each lost gladiator of their barrack, they received the compensation, either from the government, either from the sponsor of the spectacle. The spectacles were announced in the city of Rome through the billboards. The billboards weren't in plastic like nowadays. They were painted on the walls very quickly the day before the spectacle. The day before the spectacle, people could know already how many protagonists will be, who of the favorite gladiators will be exhibiting, because they were reading the billboards and painted on the walls. And also the protagonists were parading through the city of Rome. In this case, the gladiators were wearing the parading uniform with the plumage on the helmets. And even the helmets were decorated by the bas-reliefs. Their leather protection was a real work of art. They were exhibiting it, especially famous gladiators. Many of them became so famous of the Ronaldo level. Everybody was running behind them. Everybody was inviting them for the private spectacles in the Roman villas, etc. And more than 20 names, not just Spartacus, entered into the history because they obtained more than 100 victories. We imagine more than 100 victories, even though they didn't fight every day. They were especially skillful and really stand out from the crowds. So they were literally very, very skillful. Unprecedented skills. And so the gladiators was bet on intensely. So gambling was very common at that time, and people losing and earning a lot of money on gambling. And then also the gladiators' blood and sweat was meticulously gathered, and then the doctors of that time prepared the special potions, miraculous potions. They were sold on the black market. They were helping in all kind of illness. They were remedy against all kind of illness, and even rejuvenating therapy. Obviously, the Romans were very believing in this rubbish because they were, they didn't know anything about any medicine, etc. To them it was perfect. They believed in 100 gods, so they believed also in this rubbish as well. So the gladiators' fights were abolished by the Emperor Constantine the Great. He abolished all the human victims, but the fights of the animals kept on going till the 6th century after Christ. Afterwards, all the games inside the Colosseum were abolished, and after many centuries of decline and neglect, the Colosseum finally was restored and protected. So we can see these walls, also the walls on the top, they were crumbling as well, and wherever needed, they just sealed all the parts which are too dangerous for visiting the Colosseum. Nowadays, it's still among 7 wonders of the world, and the list is not the ancient, but it's made in 2007. So we're admiring the beautiful.
Para allá no es fácil.
The amphitheater Fridays. So Colosseum. Okay, now guys, please let's downstairs. I kindly ask you to use the steps, everybody. Take all your time to use the steps. The elevator is very far away. So the family, are you okay? The gladiators turning back. Look at this amazing fresco, the only survived of all the decorations of the Colosseum. This fresco is showing to us in the left lower corner the crucifixion of the Christians. Once again, it wasn't only this place to kill the Christians, there were many others. They were killed inside the Colosseum, of course. We even have this document here. So, and also all the neighborhood represented by the Romans, which is a very important document of that time. So now we're moving towards
Something so evil that was full of demons. So to make the Colosseum, to consecrate the Colosseum, let's put it.
Okay, sitting here, but also the only kind
Queria tirar uma foto.
Standing for 40 years underground area, dedicating to the study of the grooving scratches and sounds on the walls. They understood.
Você vê que eu fico incomodado.
They were working on the mechanics.
Sabe? O sol.
Revealed and reconstructed one of the elevators on the right side. If you stick out, you can see the elevator underneath that trap door, which is present here.
Oh, I see it.
While we're taking the last picture of the
In the modern times, yes, now the architects are looking forward to create again the skills of the Roman.
Please, picture.
Oh, sure. I got you. This or this?
Your choice.
All right.
Both.
Okay, we'll do both. There you go. I'll take a couple.
Would you like one?
I'm good. It's fine. Thank you. Thank you.
to do something else.
Não,
Okay. We're getting in the Roman Forum area. Okay. We're now getting to the Arch of Constantine the Great. From there, you can take amazing picture used by the professional photographers at the spot for the wedding picture symbol. So it's very beautiful. You will have all the cool scene behind your back. On full length, on full size, on full scale. And then we're getting on in the Roman Forum area. Then we have a little break for the toilets, okay? And then we start at the second part as well. Okay. Oh, you almost lost your guy. Okay, guys, we're very excited. So make sure you full.
La dernière Coupe du Monde au Qatar.
Extremely bad luck.
We know where are the southern parts of the Colosseum now in
Water drink, water aqua, water.
there are some inscriptions on the top.
I water, water.
Yeah, we know.
Water drink, water. Water aqua. Water guys. Drink water.
Like told about them, probably everywhere.
I water, water, water. Aqua. Drink water. Water guys, water. Okay. Water drink.
That you see today in the palaces, interior design of them, they are astonishing, they are absolutely amazing, beautiful. Yeah, they were all many of them were Flanders materials, but we cannot say which one coming from where. Okay? So I can see. Just don't know, so I can count.
Water aqua.
Thank you so much.
Water. Oi.
To było wycieczki, które się oznaczali takimi tymi.
I see a rim.
No, to są tak.
Many episodes precisely describing to us just like just like kind of beautiful film or pictures. They couldn't take the pictures like us nowadays, you know. The photography wasn't possible, so they left these kind of documents in stone. They were the historical bas-reliefs, and they were covering their arches, their columns with those historical bas-reliefs. In Rome, we have 3 triumphal arches surviving the collections. This is one of them, the Arch of Constantine, the inspiring bas-relief on it, describing in 150 episodes all the they used when they built the mechanics and machinery. How they undertake deforestation of all those factories, how they were cutting the trees everywhere, how they were marching, how they were crossing the rivers, how they were building the bridges to attack the cities to conquer the captives. So this arch is called the Constantine Arch, and it's dedicated to the civil war this time. Civil war between 2 Roman emperors, Dragon Emperor Maxentius.
Sorry.
Cemento che facevano i romani.
Ma davvero?
Non ricordo.
Oh my god.
And then 324, simultaneously he built over the tomb of apostles either in the Vatican and over the tomb of Paul in the southern part of Rome. There, St. Paul Apostle Basilica. The basilica is all so take your amazing picture. I want you the star of the Instagram today. Come on. Let's take this picture.
E sì, la nostra foto.
Brasileiro. Oh my God, your camera is better than mine.
Como vocês querem aparecendo tudo de lado?
Tentando só terminar o jeito que na foto. Obrigado.
Aqui já não dá.
Very cool.
Aí. Vou tirar uma no retrato, tá?
Tá bem.
Uma cara de sono, mas aí depois tá
Tá
ajeitado naquele
todo mundo com cara de...
Quer uma foto? Quer uma foto?
Mas pra minha amiga, esse fuso deixa a gente meio desnorteado. Tá falando onde?
My some car thumbs up. Yeah, I guess I can get more pictures.
Oh yeah. You all together? Yeah. All together as well. Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. The only thing.
Only on the right?
Yes. A little bit here. Sorry, Your Majesty.
Sorry?
Yes. Sorry, Majesty. Oh, that's awesome.
We can take that.
Oh, these ages.
Go away. Go away. Stay away from me. I know. Oh, wow. I know this side.
Move away.
So guys, we are ready. Make sure that you're following me. Where's the boat? Check it out. Okay, here you go. We need to show it again. Then we need to pass the metal detectors. Last time, I know they are super annoying, but you're already the masters of all the metal detectors, okay? Make sure that you're following. I lost a lot of people like that, okay?
Jak se stavěl všude Lenin, tak oni udělali tady postavili plaviáň.
Beside the water, Taverna, mostly, so all the warehouses, all the food, all the church, the imperial houses, all the warehouses called Taverna. We are on the left-hand side.
Dell'epoca.
Obviously, I am sounding because I have the transmitter, which is very disturbing for the metal detector. So, it's new. It doesn't know. Can you wait? Okay. Awesome. Anyone else? Still passing through? It's very slow.
Let's go. We're back.
The triumphal procession of the Roman soldiers, who in the triumph, carrying the trophies they plundered from the Jerusalem Temple of Solomon. And those are the gold and silver seized from Jewish people. All that they had succored was seized from them. The golden menorah, Torah, sacred table, and on the right-hand side, triumphal Titus, who is represented riding the chariot, and behind his back, important lady. She's winged lady. She's a pagan goddess of the victory, and the name is Nike. She's everywhere here because the Romans obviously obtained a lot of victories over time. So this arch is one of the, the masterpieces of Roman art, and it's considered one of the most important for this representation as well. And what we see also, the eagle of the embracing and protecting the Titus, who is the triumphal emperor, is protected and saved by eagle, who was the symbol of their main divinity of the Romans, the Jupiter. So eagle was the symbol of Jupiter, the symbol of the Romans as well. All the legions were always, the symbols of the legions were also the eagle of the Jupiter. It was protective for them. And another detail, on the very top, we are it's the inscription Senatus Populus Sue Romanus. Indeed, it's the translation of the famous abbreviation, iconic one that you see everywhere together with the Roman symbol. SPQR means exactly this. Senatus Populus Sue Romanus. All this belongs to the people of Rome.
He's actually the one who made it possible.
All right.
Byla taková ta...
Mo vado su e prova a riattaccarlo, però se mi casca una crosta io
This is the embassy, so let's make sure that you visit it. 15 minutes generously for you because the ladies want to eat. Okay, 15 minutes. E a gente vai embora. You are thirsty, there is the water on the left hand side.
Water. All right, we're gonna get water.
And when the injection,
I don't see the water. Oh, this is weird.
Ella tiene teoría.
Okay, let's see chat. I can chat with you guys for the next 10 minutes. I'll just like stuff to take pictures here though. This is nice. Oh my gosh. Chat, you don't understand. You understand the struggles of this morning. Okay, I think I can't see chat. I'm gonna go here. There we go. Now I can. Touch grass, I can't reach. We know it's dangerous from the last time I did it. There's grass in the water fountain. Oh, you can see the people over there. Saved, can't reach. Yeah, I can't reach. Chat, I was waiting to take a shower last night because I'm in a hostel with like 4 other people. We have one shower we share. And the guy was like, oh, I'm finished my laundry and I'm going to take a shower. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go after you. I laid down. It was only 9 o'clock. So I was like, it's fine. I can like prep for what I'm going to do today. Like do for tomorrow. Well, I fell asleep. And then I woke up at 2:30 a.m. That wasn't good. And then when I woke up, everyone else in the hostel was asleep. And I was like, crap, if I take a shower, they're going to wake up. What's the coolest thing I've done so far? I think the coolest thing we've done so far was, it was like a monument. It was a giant monument we went on to the top of on stream Sunday. That was the coolest thing. I think, or I think that whole day was like the coolest day. Yesterday we went to the Vatican. And I was highly, you know what, maybe St. Peter's in the Vatican was also very, very cool. I didn't stream it, but I went and paid to go to get to the rooftop. You had to climb up like 500 stairs to get to the roof of like above the dome, and then you get a view of all of Rome. It was very pretty, and also St. Peter's is just a giant church. It feels unreal how big it is, and it's like the same. It's the spot where like the Pope goes and like he's in front of when he goes and does like big congregations on Wednesdays. By the end of getting to the top, it's like a super tiny spiral staircase that like you're just essentially. That's how like cramped and small it is, and they just have a rope down the middle, so you have to like grab onto the rope and like pull yourself up and climb up this super narrow spiral staircase. Very cool. And then the church itself was very cool. Yesterday I couldn't do much. I just did the Vatican Museum tour, the Sistine Chapel tour, and St. Peter's. And then at that point, my legs were dead. It was gone. My legs were dead from the first 2 days of being here. I did almost like 20K steps each. And then yesterday was 11K steps. And now today, my legs they feel fine. I feel good. I have energy. I can do it. I just had to do a half day, essentially. I'm gonna look for my tour guide. It hasn't been 15 minutes, but it'd be nice to. Okay, wait. I see one guy in my tour, so if I'm lost, he's lost. I don't think I'm lost. I think she just sat down. But yeah. I was middle of writing up everything I did on my second day, My third day was pretty short. It was literally those three things. I think something that was the most annoying part about the Sistine Chapel, I was okay when they said, hey, look, there's 2 rules. No video, no pictures. I was like, okay, that's fine. And the second rule is no talking. And their explanation as to why it was like that was, it's a very holy place, so just follow those rules. So I was like, okay, cool. Very important, holy place. We're gonna make sure to follow the rules. The moment I get inside, I hear so many people talking. It's so loud, it echoes if you talk in there. And people were talking a lot. And immediately I was annoyed. I was like, this is annoying. How can people be so disrespectful? And then I'm looking around and I see people constantly taking their phones out and going, doing this. You know, taking pictures and they're trying to sneak pictures in. And then guards are like, hey, no pictures, hey, no pictures. And they're screaming it. So I was mad about that. I was like, they said this is important. And you guys are, and everyone's being disrespectful. And then while you're in there, they kind of push you along. You feel almost like cattle, that you can't stay still, because if you stay still, guards are like, come on, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. So you're essentially rushed through, which isn't great. And at this point of the day, my legs were already dead. I was tired. I didn't even care to be at the Sistine Chapel. I was like, okay, cool. I'm already pissed off at people being disrespectful, and I'm tired. And they kept on repeating that there's pickpockets, so go and make sure your bag's in front of you. So I was like, okay, I guess it must be really bad if you keep on repeating it. So, excuse me. When we get out, this is the worst part. We get out of it. I didn't even talk about the Vatican Museum. Vatican Museum's not worth talking about because they push you through. Again, you're a cow on a conveyor belt. They will push you through, and you don't get to stop to take pictures unless it's like, hey, all right, you got 20 seconds, take your picture, and then you keep moving. Everyone who was talking deserves to get pickpocketed. Well, I'm about to reverse Uno card. Yeah. We get out, and then we find out the real reason why you can't take pictures. Now, the real reason you can't take pictures in there isn't because it's a holy place. Not at all. Not in the least sense of it. Because they said you used to be able to take pictures. You had to stop taking pictures only when the Japanese company that's doing the restoration of the Sistine Chapel finished the restoration, because now they own the copyright. Screw them. Screw the copyright. I should have been talking and taking pictures. But now I know. So now I'm not really that upset about the people. If anything, they got one over on them. I got fooled. I got duped. Huh? Yeah, Hun's exactly right. So initially it was painted with everyone on the ceiling in the Sistine Chapel was naked. And then it was like 7 or 8 years after Michelangelo died, that they came in and they put little leaves and like cloths over the people to cover them up. So this restoration project is not only to restore it, but also to bring it back to, so everyone has their junk all out. And when I went in there and all their junk was out. Oop, I hear something. Hello, Raris. We just finished up at the Colosseum. We're heading to this, what's the other thing? The Roman Forum. History lesson with Uncle Pip.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Very well done. Yeah. What is the plan now? Next. Oh, the water is here in a corner over there.
Can we go there?
Yeah, just here on the left-hand side.
Thank you.
In the summer, there are the crowds that take the water here because it's very hot. There are all the queues everywhere for the people fighting for the water. I know, it's very hot. 40 degrees, 37. So well done.
Já jsem to doplnil, a já má oběma to úplné, oběma plné.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll just make up stuff as we go.
Obviously, you can touch also the horrible tornadoes and very horrible, violent thunderstorms in here. Just last week we had a horrible thunderstorm during the excursion. Obviously, everything was disrupted. People escaping, hiding everywhere.
So in one part, a lot of broken branches.
Yeah.
But they are not cleaning them back, only setting the
Yeah.
and it's laying. Maybe one day we'll
Okay, guys, so let's get it together, yeah? I'm sorry we need to stand up and proceed for the Palatine seal. So the plan is for why I mentioned the beginner's level, okay? Because we have the slightly higher part of the heel, of the Palatine heel, sorry, it's over there, but you can visit it by your own. Very easily, because after the excursion we finish in the middle of Roman Forum, so you have your free time here. They're closing at 4:30 p.m., but I think you manage even earlier to visit all the rest. So you can come back to this arch from the Forum, and then you can just climb on the steps. They're steep again. And over there you can visit this panoramic view with a terrace overlooking all Roman Forum. The Colosseum obviously is very beautiful, but you can visit it by your own. Okay, so now we just raising a little bit on the top of the Palatine Hill in the middle of the palaces. Then we stroll around the little white building, which is the museum of the Palatine Hill. We see the panoramic view overlooking the Circus Maximus, where the Romans used to run the chariot races. And then we come back, seal in the side on this road. So if you feel like it's not your thing, you want to have a rest a little bit more, you can skip this part and then join the group while I will be descending to the Roman Forum. If not, just follow me right now. And we are getting in the second part of the tour.
The echoes of my
So from here we are getting in the middle of the Palatine Hill, which was considered the main date of the place of birth of ancient Rome. According to the traditional legend, the famous iconic she-wolf found, suckled and hidden in her grotto on the slopes of the Palatine Hill. On another side, facing the Tiber River, two twin brothers, two newborn babies, Romulus and Remus. And when they grew up, they decided to come back on the Palatine Hill. They started arguing. Romulus killed his own brother Remus and became first king of Rome. He united together all the villages, all the populations of the ancient villages, living here, the tribes, on the top of other 6 surrounding hills. And afterwards, he found the city called with his own name from Romulus or Roma, or Rome, on 21st of April, 753 before Christ. So this is the place of birth and the date of birth of ancient Rome. The scholars actually in the southern part of the Palatine Hill, found the evidence of the ancient legend, almost confirming it actually. They found the huts, the burial places, the domestic use items, and even scraps of food dated back to 9th and 10th century before Christ, so Bronze Age. And these populations, tribes, were living here in the villages, little communities which were gathered together at certain point in 8th century under the leadership of a man, somebody who was their king, and maybe the name was even Romulus. So this was the evidence of first human presence here on the top of the Palatine Hill and surrounding hills as well. Roman Emperor, the first Roman Emperor Augustus Octavian, decided indeed to live on the Palatine Hill because he wanted to connect two parts of the history and connected the glory of the founders of Rome with the glory of Roman emperors. And he started to build here on the top of the Palatine Hill his very modest initially residence. It's a kind of little palace, almost office with adjacent bedroom. The Domus Augustana, we will visit it. It's near the arch over there. Also, he built his empress, the wife Livia house on the right hand side, which is we're passing now, we're strolling along. We're now eating in the central part of the residence. It was divided into two parts. On the left hand side we have the private part of the residence of the emperors. On the right hand side the official suite, where the emperors received the official delegations, etc. In this part, we will see many adings, so many emperors successing Augustus Octavian, as they participated, building, enlarging, and adding other buildings to this complex of the imperial beautiful palaces, and they were outside and inside decorated in so lush way and so amazingly. They were majestic. They were of unparalleled beauty. So the word Palatine became the word for the word palazzo, palace, so lavishly decorated apartments. Also very green area and very pacific, relaxing. Apart from those hellish noises of the sirens, which have to be, they must be loud so that people let them pass. But apart from them, it's a silence reigning always on the top of the Palatine Hill. And this museum, established under the dictatorship of Mussolini, when Italian fascists were considered themselves the direct successors of the glory of Roman emperors, this museum was established. Mussolini, we must say, was promoting the further excavations, preservation, and restoration of this public place, this ruins of the Roman civilization. So they found this museum to preserve the most precious findings during the excavations, and they are all preserved in this museum of the Palatine Hill. We have another one in the Roman Forum as well, so you can visit them by yourself. The entrance is absolutely free of charge because it's a part of the archaeological park if you want. So look at this inscription, very curious on the facade. Imperatore Benito Mussolini, so he was considered himself the emperor directly, and the fascist eagle. Indeed, this eagle was borrowed from the Romans because the Romans' eagle was Jupiter eagle. But the fascists ruined everything because they adopted the same symbol and the same greeting of the Romans as well, which is horrible, of course. The Romans didn't know. They wouldn't be happy, yeah. So we are moving in the most of the palace, which is Domus Augustana, which is the middle part of the palaces. On the left-hand side, we have the part of the Roman baths and adjacent stadium under the rule of the Emperor Tiberius. But the most interesting ancient part is comes down in front of us with the central courtyard fountain and developing around it beautiful grandiose palace built by Domitian of the Flavian dynasty. Many emperors, however, Claudius, Caligula, Nero, but also Tiberius, Flavian dynasty, Domitian, Septimius Severus, and later Empire, and Diocletian participated to build, restore, and rebuild again after the fires the imperial palaces here on the top of the Palatine Hill. Now you will realize all at once to the bedrooms of the imperial dynasty. You realize that we are on the third floor, not on the first floor, all at once, because ancient pavement is always down below the modern one. And actually the residence of the emperors, they were four-story buildings. There was another floor above us. Have you heard this noise? This is the cannon. The real cannon shooting every day, noon sharp, from the Janiculum Hill near the Vatican, so that you can adjust your watches. If it's not noon, you need to know that your watches are not good. So you should be sharp as a cannon of Janiculum. It's a very old tradition introduced first by the popes on Sundays to announce the popes showing up in their famous windows of the papal palace. But then it spread throughout all the week. And here we have this amazing view, the paganism symbolized by the ancient columns and ruins, and the symbol of the Christianity, the beautiful Basilica of St. Peter, with the dreams of all the apostles, the path to all the apostles. The Basilica of St. Peter is surrounded by amazing dome designed by Michelangelo. Michelangelo wanted it so tall enough to almost touch the skies. So coming back to this palace, as you can observe, all the palace was developing around this courtyard with a fountain. The fountain was the central of the composition, and the fountain is still provided with the same planning system of the Romans. They just turned it on and it worked perfectly, just like 2,000 years ago. This is the precious of this fountain. It's not that much, the statues disappeared, it's in ruins, but still the plumbing system is going on after the perfect. Look at the one that needs to be for ages. Flawless. The classic music to recreate the Roman ancient atmosphere. Imagine the Romans in a cold summer evening, they were banqueting here with all the court, imperial court, or the imperial family. They didn't have any air condition, of course, and they provided air only, but building the porticos everywhere, planting the trees, and of course building the fountains everywhere, running everywhere, water, filling out the fountains, obviously created the fresh air as well during the summer. And now we are getting on this panoramic view overlooking the beautiful Aventine Hill in front of us. One of the views, the around. On the left shore of the Tiber River. Tiber River is very close to the Palatine Hill. And here is amazing valley. The valley was Pancho Valley once upon a time, so Etruscan kings, Etruscans were developed, very developed civilization, elderly than Romans, so they were ruling here in 6th and 7th, 10th century before Christ. Their kings, Etruscan kings, actually built organizing the Circus Maximus there for another side, the Roman Forum. Here was the Circus Maximus, amazing circus once upon a time. It was gorgeous and marble. And I'm showing you now Palatine Hill that was right above the Circus Maximus. The Circus Maximus was big, just like all the complex of the imperial palaces in here. Okay, so this was the look of all the structure. The Circus Maximus initially was in stone, then it was of wood, and finally marble. 600 meters long and 300 meters wide. It was hosting up to 500,000 people simultaneously. And contrary from the Colosseum, the filling up of the seating area was organized in a different way. So first came, first served. Contrary from the Colosseum, where everybody had the tickets, the organization according to your wealth, and people was occupying their places already in the night, obviously, before the spectacles. And the spectacles was so popular that they were even competing with the Colosseum shows themselves. And also, the sexes were mixed, contrary from the Colosseum. So men and women could sit together. And this was the dating place indeed for the Romans. And they, especially the young people, they were dressing up nicely, all the perfumes, all with the jewelry, nice hairdo, everybody cleaned nicely, all the nails clean, you know, all the stuff. So they were a little bit also kind of slightly with booths in the morning, because the breakfast in ancient Rome was made with hot wine blended with water. Imagine, they didn't have no coffee, no tea. They appeared much later in our countries. So they had the wine in the morning. Obviously the wine was very, very light, like a grape juice almost, but it was still a little bit alcoholic. Okay, so they were a little bit, slightly drunk in the early morning already. So the charioteers, they were condemned to the death. Prisoners, war prisoners or slaves, condemned to the death. Criminals. So if they didn't win the competition, they were executed anyway. So they were fighting fiercely for their freedom, for their right. So they were allowed to make the spectacles even more attractive for the Romans. They were allowed to do anything they could in their forces to win. So they were able to smash, kill, with any other item, any object, and destroy and provoke the incident of other charioteers of the rival company. So they were four crews of the charioteers, and they were various colors, and they had the fun clubs. Obviously, the population was divided in fun clubs. They were very similar to the football fun clubs. They were getting in the fights before and after the spectacles, in harsh battles as well, just like a football the hooligans nowadays. And indeed, the Circus Maximus was the main spectacle here in this area. And before the Colosseum construction, by the way, also the fightings of the gladiators and the archaic period was also held here in the Circus Maximus or on Roman Forum. The Circus Maximus was working as an entertainment place from 6th century before Christ to 6th century after Christ. Obviously, we can observe other majestic ruins on the horizon over there. Can you see the majestic ruins over there? They are very big as well. And also the ruins of huge terms in the public baths. Public baths. So while here we have the individual baths for the emperor, they were supplied by the water by special aqueduct. That was extension from the main aqueducts. The public baths in ancient Rome, like terms of Caracalla over there in ruins, they were grandiose complexes of Roman baths hosting 3,000 people in this case, 3rd century after Christ, the greatest complex. And we're going to talk a little bit better about the Caracalla terms coming down Private deals and transactions, so they were multifunctional buildings. The Roman baths were, they have also the service area underneath in underground where the slaves were heating the water and heating the air. The air was passed by the Romans in the special double pavement, and the double this system was called hypocaustus. And thanks to this system, all the pavements, marble pavements in Roman terms, were also heated comfortably, so you can step with bare foot on them without being ice cold, you know. So it was all comfort. Furthermore, the terms also decorated in this way. But were the colorful marbles, kinds of marbles in Italy? Not many, we would say. In Italy, in the Augustus Octavian period, the Romans found a lot of quarries of amazing marble, including the so-called Carrara sculptural, the finest sculptural marble. But that was appreciated even in a But what we had in the ancient times, the Romans adored colorful marbles, and they were mostly imported from their very further provinces, very far away situated provinces. Modern Egypt, 90% of the colorful materials, such as granites, they were all appreciated by the Romans. They employed 8, 9, 10 months of sailing by the ships, bringing those materials here. They were dragging here the obelisks from Egypt. They were 13th obelisk indeed. Circus Maximus, main axis around which the charioteers were racing, circling 6 times. Indeed, they were decorated by Egyptian obelisks as well. The Romans brought here amazing columns. They were granite, monolithic columns, imagine, not in pieces, monolithic columns from Egypt. They didn't care how much time it needs, how many effort, because they loved the colorful materials, and colorful kinds of marble were coming also from Tunis, and not only Egypt, also Turkey and Greece as well. They were the provinces which were obviously at that time they were in the Roman Empire, but they were still very far away, not in Italy, I mean. And so those are the colorful marbles on the pavement, showing us that this area was representative. So this was the show to showcase the majestic beauty of the imperial place. So this was the dining area for the banqueting, receiving the guests, becoming outdoor dining area developed around the fountain as well, and some more rooms and aulas for the meetings with the population or foreign delegations as well. By the aqueducts. The aqueducts were very expensive for the Roman system. They spent a lot of energy, a lot of money as well to build them. From 4th century before Christ on, the Romans started to build their first aqueducts and first roads, and they were called respectively the first aqueduct and road, Appian Ancient Way, and Appian Ancient Aqueduct, and name in honor of Censor Appius Claudius Decaecus. Afterwards, the Appian Ancient Way, the Regina Viarum, the queen of all the roads, Roman roads, became the first one, and then they built other 10 roads, and they built also other 10 aqueducts. Altogether 11 aqueducts, 11 roads. Aqueducts were delivering the water, supplying the water from the mountain springs. You obviously notice on the horizon everywhere the mountains around Rome. They are all volcanic originally. They were all distinguished volcanoes once upon a time. Tufa, travertine, and also basaltic stone. They were paving the roads with basaltic stone, which was the solid lava actually. And so the aqueducts as well, they were on arcades or passing underground. The paramount condition was to maintain inclining position because the water was falling down for the force of the gravity. That was the force pushing the water from the mountain to the valley in the city of Rome, from the mountain springs. The water was absolutely pure, very tasty, and rich of very healthy elements, very mild. And it's still the same water that we drink and use in Rome. Is the best in Italy, and it's very, very pure. And the abundance of the water spilling out in the fountains. We have the drinking fountains everywhere, the public fountains everywhere, and monumental fountains. They are characteristic of the city. The Regina Aquarum, the queen of the waters, was called Rome as well by the ancient historians. The aqueducts were partially destroyed by the barbarians. What they did, they cut the water supply. They cut the water supply to make people of Rome surrender faster and easier. And they destroyed just a couple of parts of the aqueduct, and they actually stopped to function, unfortunately. Just some of them were repaired, were fixed by the popes, and nowadays supplying the main, so-called main monumental fountains. In terms of the roads were very high quality roads built by the Romans using the special system. The roads wasn't only paving them on the top with the basaltic stone, which was very hard, the material of course, but it wasn't enough to build the quality roads. Indeed, the Roman roads were very, very wide. They were ensuring the movement in both directions, and they were formed by many layers: big stones, middle stones, gravel, sand, and only on the top of that, the basaltic stones. They were so cute. They even provided, not like the Italians nowadays, they provided the crossing for the pedestrians. Okay, so you didn't suck and water your shoes, so everything was very comfortable. And they were thinking about people, about their comfort. So, the Roman roads were built in all the empire, just like bridges. They found the cities everywhere, such as Paris and London. They were all Roman cities once upon a time. The Romans brought to everybody what they considered useful, actually. And to some civilizations, they brought this development even. They built the roads, they introduced their bridges, their buildings. Obviously, they were introducing also their language, their coins, their laws. But they were all very useful anyway. So we can say that the Roman civilization is at the basis of the European civilization as well. Many things that surrounding us nowadays, such as names of the calendar, the months, such as umbrellas and other stuff, they were invented by the Romans indeed. So, here is the Roman road And they built 80,000 kilometers in all their empire, imagine. And people throughout many other centuries after the fall of Roman Empire were using them for a long time. That's why people used to say all the roads lead to Rome. Okay? This was the empire by 2nd century after Christ. When the Emperor Hadrian was ruling, he didn't conquer anything anymore because they didn't need anymore to conquer anything else. They were good. It was enough. So the Roman Empire was stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Danube, from Scotland to the Sahara. On its territory were living 90 million people, and 1 million were the inhabitants of the city of Rome. So Hadrian, indeed, he traveled through many borders of the empire, getting to the borders between Scotland and England. Then the Romans stopped because they understood that the Celtic population were unrulable. They didn't want the Romanization at all. So the Romans built just the wall, cutting them off. And Hadrian built the famous Hadrian Wall, crossing all England and dividing Scotland and England. At that time, it was the most northern border of the Roman Empire.
How far Roman people traveled from the Roman Empire? From the
Oh, they were traveling sometimes in Africa because they called Africa the land of lions. So after Egypt, they were sure, almost sure, that they were nothing. There were nobody living there. So the land of the lions, they were convinced that there were nothing in there. So they, however, wasn't that sure. And then from time to time, they were adventurous expeditions to the regions of Nile, so to the southern part of Egypt, and also up to China. Yes, to the east they didn't come because they saw already that the territories weren't that, the climate also played a very important role. Where it was too severe, too harsh weather conditions, they didn't love it. So they cut just off all the things.
Oui, mais d'en bas, c'est pas pareil.
Weather, soil, and etc. Those were the conditions. But they came in China as well. They were captured immediately. So in China they found the tombs of Roman soldiers who primarily they were probably fighting in German instead. So they had the necklaces in glass, which was very strange thing. At that time, just in Germany, you had the glass and necklace in glass. But they were buried in China, so they got there with the expedition, very adventurous. But the Chinese civilization was much more developed. They even had the gunpowder already, almost. So they were more skillful in weapons. And so they captured the Romans and they executed them immediately and just throw in the tombs. But it's interesting that the Romans got even there, but that was just the adventurous expeditions, that not the conquest of anything, okay? Just looking around, if anything interesting. They were good already with all they had. They were good. The last territory added was by Trajan, the Dacia. Indeed, on the Trajan column is represented 2 war campaigns dedicated to that. The Romanian territory, kind of Danube, the Danube land all around. Look at this church. The church was called Francesca Romana, and it's presenting the facade in Baroque style. The monastery with the tower bell is medieval instead, 13th century. And all of that built on the top of the Hadrian Temple of Minerva and Venus. And so we call this church the lasagna of the epochs, because actually it's presenting many layers of the history merged together in one building. And it's not only one example, we have many of them, the situation repeating everywhere. Here in between, right in between the Roman ruins, we can see the gardens added by Odoardo Farnese, who was the cardinal, and for the Pope's court, who was banqueting here in the open air with the music, with the gardens and the open air dinings. They built these monumental terraces, grottos, statues, rose gardens, and the terrific terrace with all the panoramic view on the top of the Tiberius palaces in 16th century, on the Renaissance style. We are using now this road, which is partially reconstructed. This road was called Sacred Way. Sacred Way because it was the holy sacred way, the solemn sacred way for the Romans. And along this road they were organizing the triumphal processions. Have you seen on this Titus Arch? And the same was going on in this road. This is the triumphal procession, you see? And it was developing using this road, which is Sacred Way or Sacred Road. And where they were directed? From the Colosseum, they were directed on the next hill, which was the religious center of the Romans. There in 6th century before Christ, the Romans built their main temple to Jupiter. Jupiter on the Capitoline Hill. Indeed, from the head, the word head, capo, Capitoline, so the head of all the hills, because it was religious center. On the right-hand side instead, we have the Constantine the Great Basilica, started by pagan emperor Maxentius in 4th century after Christ, and then finished up by Constantine the Great. We have just one aisle of the basilica survived, while in ancient time it was 3-aisle building. And it was absolutely astonishing. It was so beautiful, all decorated inside by marbles, mosaics, and the statue of the emperor himself, actually on the throne with the bronze vestments, and the marble head, feet, and hand. Indeed, the last survived, while the bronze, they melted it down, they found all the metals, it was melted down, they didn't care, they created the weapons, other purposes, they didn't care. Indeed, we can read horrible historians describing how in the Middle Age they were able, the population were able to melt down the unique in the world Greek statue 6th century before Christ and just melted. I know, they didn't know anything about that. Imagine that this area was completely abandoned. It was transformed into the pasture place. They were dumping the rubbish here. Some blacksmith shops and other shops. But first of all, the floodings of Tiber River was bringing here other rubble and rubbish, and all of that accumulating layer by layer, created the soil pavement. And all of this area was buried underneath, not completely, the columns were sticking out, but to the middle of the columns, all of that was covered by the soil. Just like the arena of the Colosseum, it was covered by the soil. And in 20th century, they excavated, they found out that underneath the soil was situated the hypogeum of the Colosseum, the most important part. It was discovered just in nowadays, in our times, in modern life, not earlier. So nobody cared about this building. They were repurposed, they were recycled, they were plundered savagely. Sometimes they were digging here and there, but the purpose was the robbery, not the science, of course. The science came just in collected and preserve all this beauty.
Nowadays, people in Rome are dealing with the fact that under the soil there is a lot of precious things, and under the buildings and
yeah, Well, it's more appreciated by the tourists than by the Romans. They living in a continuous stress. So they sometimes just watching on this Colosseum. What is that? It wasn't here yesterday. So they forgot completely sometimes. When you touching this history surrounding you, you forgot about that. Many of them they postpone it all their life. Oh, I'm gonna get in the Sixtine Chapel. Yeah, I never been. What is there? Can I get in the Basilica by my own, or it's through the museums all the way? So they didn't know, just like tourists, anything. Many of them. If you are not involved in the touristic business, they don't know anything about their monuments. Just some of them might be more, elevated level, maybe educated, maybe they are teachers, maybe connected to the education. More they care, about all this deep stuff. They are proud. When you remember to them where they are living, they are like...
We saw sometimes...
yes, they are like becoming... Yes, actually it's very beautiful. I'm proud about the living in Rome. I am a Roman citizen, yes. I remember, but in that moment they remember. They're living in a continuous stress, They need to survive, first of all, because they have crowds here. They need to leave. They need to pass with their cars everywhere. It's such a stressful life. Now we're going to waiting also the huge mass events such as Jubilee year 2025. Do you imagine Romans all squeezed, put on the side, and let pilgrims feel the streets everywhere, feel their city? They are not actually owners of their city anymore. Every time, so they don't remember about all this stuff. Yeah, highly likely. Okay, honestly speaking, yes. So on the right-hand side, you have the 4th century after Christ, 8 octagonal monument. Octagon was very magic for the Romans, and it was considered protective, the shape, the octagonal shape. And this temple, 4th century, is perfect condition. It was dedicated to the divine Romulus, but not Romulus, the founder of Rome, but rather Romulus, young son of pagan emperor Maxentium, died in 19 years old in a very early age. So Maxentium, killed by this pain to lose his only son, he dedicated to him, deifying him, also this temple. And this temple, as you can observe, is in quite a good conditions. Not just one column on little stone, they're entirely preserved. Not because it's a late empire, so it's a later building than the others, but also for the thing that the church from time to time was protecting the ancient monuments. Look at this on this occasion as well. The 13th century allowed to the temple to be preserved, not plundered, not do something else. Okay, one of the most remarkable examples of the this is my suggestion, guys. Otherwise, you will stuck in the queue over there. Remember, it's €5 nowadays, and it's worth the thing absolutely to visit this Pantheon. Pantheon was preserved in perfect conditions. Apart from some, indeed, I'm not reconstructing anything at all. It's preserved just the same of 2,000 years ago. Why the other temples were destroyed almost completely? Because Pantheon was the first temple situated in the Middle Age. So by 13th century, to the door, it was all covered by the soil, all of it. All of it was buried underneath. So to get to the church, you have to step from the parliament inside without using any staircase. All right? They had to excavate every they found out this level of this area, and some of them even the public prior to the then they organized the market, then they gradually started to build the Roman Forum became the main center of Banking. So all the commercial, social, political, economical, religious life of the Roman Forum on the left-hand side from the arch. The arch is the last that we see today. The arch is dated to the 3rd century after Christ. Emperor Septimius Severus, African originally, was fighting with Parthian tribes, and they are represented on the arch. This was the look of the Roman Forum. Incredible transformation in wars. We are unlikely to understand how it was once upon a time without those pictures. That's why it's fundamental that you see how majestic they were. They were absolutely astonishing beauty. And all of them were veneered in marble, lavishly decorated inside as well. So what we see here, the main buildings. Jesus. So the main building. The main building here in bricks is the Curia, the place where the senators were sitting in the 1st century before Christ, built in the dictatorship of Julius Caesar. Dictatorship wasn't positive at that time, so it was in bricks in its perfect conditions. Yeah, you know. What is this?
We've been a bit
yeah. In this area. Let's move a little bit. Okay. Are you okay? Sorry. So, okay, it's not gonna last so long. So the Curia was the house of the Senate, actually, 1st century before Christ. So the arch we already told 3rd century after Christ. And the piazza in the middle is the original of the Augustus Octavian times. Look at the senatorial palace, which is the town hall of modern Rome nowadays. And it's built on the top of the tabularium, a type of ancient Rome, where the Romans preserved tables, documents, and also the maps and marbles of ancient Rome. On the left-hand side, smooth columns of the Temple of Saturn, dedicated to the agricultural god. But not only, it was also the treasury of ancient Rome, where they preserved all the treasures they captured and coins minted over time by the Romans. Here in the middle of Roman Forum, we can observe the place where the body of Julius Caesar was cremated solemnly. Julius Caesar was killed and stabbed by those of the senators on 15th of March 44 before Christ. And they were afraid that his dictatorship was becoming the tyranny. So he was killed as a result of the conspiration against Julius Caesar, and the two bodies transported by the crowd from the forum and cremated solemnly here in front of all the crowd. And Augustus Octavian, who was the adoptive son of Julius Caesar, he built above this place the temple of divine Julius Caesar, and he was deified after the death, and all the emperors were called also
Sì,
Caesar.
praticamente il Senato
Every
l'ultimo
year
anno.
on 15th of March, modern Romans bring here the flower because they are very proud that one of their ancestors was the great dictator Julius Caesar, the splendid Italian general, conqueror, and warlord of unparalleled skills, obviously. And so they are very proud to come from Julius Caesar, to be the part of the history together with Julius Caesar. So in front of us are the three columns, Corinthian columns. Those are the ruins of the temple of Castor and Pollux. So they were demigods, sons of Zeus and nymph Leda. And this temple was found in 5th century before Christ as well, but rebuilt obviously heavily after many fires. And according to the legend, they appeared on the battlefield when Romans were fighting with Latin aggressive tribes who tried to conquer the Romans, right when Romans were just young city from young civilization. So they fought with the Latin tribes, they won over thanks to these gods, and they were worshipping afterwards those gods. All the Castor and Pollux initially were Greek gods, by the way, but they were worshipped also by the Romans and dedicated this temple. And then the temple of Vesta, inside this temple was burning symbolizing the goddess Vesta, the fire, protecting all the city of Rome if this fire went out. That meant that the city of Rome was about to be annihilated and even destroyed. That's why the Romans found the order of Vestal virgins. They were selected from the high-born families. They were sworn to the chastity. If they broke the rule of the chastity, they were buried alive. Indeed, there were plenty of amazing privileges instead. They were living near the emperors. In the Roman Forum, they could sit in the Colosseum and other entertainment places closer to the arena and other privileges. That's why many of the Vestal virgins, after their service finished and it was over, they could theoretically come back to the family. They didn't want to. They didn't want to any husband, any children. They want to be the priestess to the end because their privileges were guaranteed. Instead, the husband, you'll never know what husband you could get. So they refused that and kept their privileges instead. Many of them became the great Vestal. Last column, raised in the middle of Roman Forum, is dated back to 608 after Christ. In the middle, only column. And it was to symbolize the end of Roman Empire, end of wise and amazing Roman civilization, and of course the beginning of the darkness and the ages of Middle Age. Okay? And this is the end, my lovelies. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you guys. So I would like you kindly to give me back the radius without the cables, okay? The earplugs are individual, so I don't need them at all. So detach them and just throw in this little bag. All the best on your way. All without the cables, guys. Without the cables would be absolutely amazing. Exit from Roman Forum. Don't exit from here behind the arch because I'm not sure that they are open. Maybe yes, maybe not. If you get in there, yes, maybe yes. I can see the guards over there. Yesterday it was closed, but you never know. Thank you so much. You have a lovely, lovely day. Okay. All the best. All the best. Yes, I'm leaving.
I guess we're off. We're off to do whatever. No more guided tour.
On the right side, different.
Oh, but over here's cooler. Over here is way cooler. Freedom, we're free. We're free, Grogden. These roads are tough to walk on. If I did this yesterday, I would have been done for. I couldn't do anything yesterday. So it's noon. Oh, it's almost 1. We haven't eaten yet, but I do want to like walk around and explore because that's usually like the most fun part. And I want to head over to the Spanish Steps, but that's kind of out, like it's close, but it's a little out of the way. We'll see. We'll see what we're doing today. Look at this. Things. Stuff. Things. I don't know if I said this. I woke up this morning at 2:30 a.m. Woke up. I fell asleep early, like around 9. Feeling terrible. Everyone in the hostel was asleep. So I went downstairs and I was like, talked to the guy at the desk. I was like, hey, can I use like the shower that's not in my room, like the one that's like in the lobby, so I don't wake up my roommates? He said, oh, okay. I didn't go to sleep until 3:30 a.m. And I thought the tour started at 10:30, meaning you had to be there at 10. No, I thought I started at 10, so you had to be there at 9:30. And I woke up at 9 o'clock, and I was like, shit, I need to get up, get dressed, get ready, and be there in 30 minutes. But luckily, it starts at 10:30, so we had to be there at 10, so I got there in time. It also didn't help. I feel like I must be sick with something. It's because I woke up where if I took a big breath, I would get a pain in my back. Something must be wrong. It hurt. This whole morning hurt. I'm fine now though. I still have the cough, the Hana cough, the Miko virus, the Hana virus. Oh wait, we don't want to go this way. She said like not go that way. Let's go this way. That's like the one spot she said don't go to. My legs, they're all right. But yeah, Sistine Chapel, boring. Vatican Museum, boring. St. Peter's Basilica, like the church, amazing. A big open area where everyone goes to see the Pope in front of St. Peter's, amazing. The area around the Vatican, at least when it comes for food, terrible. Oh God, this hill is way too much. Give me a moment. Also, ancient Roman stuff is pretty cool. Yes. The ancient Roman stuff is cool. I like this area. It's like an area of stuff. You know how on Saturday, the whole day was essentially us walking streets until we saw something off in the distance and like, ooh, stuff. And we walked to it. It's not, there's no distance. There's just stuff everywhere. I'm looking where this goes up here. It looks like it exits out. I don't want to leave yet. So, let's go down this way. I've only had someone try to scam me once, and that was today. It was a guy who was very friendly, and then he pointed at my shoes. He says, "Oh, those are very nice shoes." My shoes are not very nice. I'm wearing really cheap white walking shoes, and they're dirty because we went and did the waterfall walk before doing this trip. I never cleaned them. And then and he was like, "Where are you from?" Right? And I was like, I thought it was still late for the tour, so I was like walking fast. I was like, "Oh, States," and then I walked past him, kept on going. He was like, "Oh, wait up, friend, wait up." And then I can see when I turned back, he was like pulling out bracelets, trying to give me one. I was like, "Oh, that's one of those scams. I see." And I think he threw it at me because I was not running, but like walking away and just turned away. So I was like, "Sorry, I can't." And then I felt like a bracelet between my legs, like near my shoes. I think he like tossed it over, and I'm pretty sure I stepped on it, and I just kept going. He threw a bracelet at me. This is a cool view. I know we came here, but like coming from like this way is nice. You bought a bracelet. You bought a bracelet, now pay. I didn't buy a bracelet. I did the exact opposite. Do you think it's part of the scam? Last ditch effort, throw the bracelets. I feel that I step on it. And then it's like I'm supposed to turn around like, "Oh, you dropped this." And I pick up the bracelet, and then he'll continue. "No, you keep it. You keep it. Where's the money?" There's a Kenyan guy too. He threw a Kenya bracelet. It had like Kenya's flag on it. Probably, yeah. He wasn't gonna get me. I wasn't getting got. The food I had yesterday for like dinner, disappointing, but it makes sense why. I was still near the Vatican area, like the Vatican. I couldn't walk much. I was so exhausted yesterday. So I went somewhere close, which was the first mistake. Then when I went inside, they didn't have Italian music on, they had Hispanic music on. I was like, "Ooh, my people." But it was my people making Italian food. And I don't know if they did it right. It tasted like all the other bad Italian food I had here, so maybe they did do it right. The streets were narrow, and then it opened up to piazzas, and it was, I don't know, it was like surprises at every turn. Whereas near the Vatican, it felt a lot like the States, in that the streets were really wide, there was a lot of traffic, and everything was kind of far away from each other. So it didn't feel as walkable. Okay. Oh, wow, we walked through all this already. I might just end stream. I can start stream up again later. I need to head back to my hostel because I don't have my correct microphone. I'm missing a vital wire. I can start up a later stream today as well. The sound sounds good? If the sound sounds good, then that's fine. That works. I was freaking out this morning. Okay, are my eyes bad or is this... Okay, no, it's not my eyes. I got so worried. The sign is just smeared. What else happened yesterday? St. Peter's is so cool. The inside is cool. The outside is cool. The dome is cool. Like I might have been dying, but I still was able to enjoy it.
Sonst, also bei der einen Hauptbudget haben wir.
The sign was drunk? Yeah, the sign was drunk. The sign was slurring its own words.
Weißt du, was ein Homunculus ist?
Look up here. This seems cool.
Ya da olsun abi.
Та що ви ті рукава дергаєте? Так, в кармани тепер. Ножку вперед.
Let's get in the shade. Oh, the sun's beating on me hard. It's beating me up. Let me put my hair up. I'm not taking pictures now, so I can get a big old man bun. There's so many things I wanted to add to the stream, like maybe I could still do it for other parts. I wanted to add like Italian sound alerts, and then update the names of the streams at least. But I was rushing today. I was rushing. Also, every time you see like the screen goes black for a second, if like or my hand goes over, that's taking pictures for mom. I wish I had a little title card that would go up and be like pictures for mom, and then it comes back. Oh, excuse me.
Antonio. Antonio. ¿Dónde está?
Wait, were we up there? We were up there, right? Right there. That's the big monument from Saturday. Yeah, because that green bit in the center is the elevator. That was really cool being up there. There.
Chicas, attenzione.
Con capoccia.
I should have listened to the guide at the end because she said where the exits were, and I have no clue.
Me pedí una lasaña, tú.
One thing I am gonna do though, take the sticker off so people don't think I'm on a tour. I made that mistake yesterday. I left my tour sticker on all day, and then it was super obvious.
Yo creo que
Okay, hopefully this is the right way. Are there no signs for exits? I haven't seen the exit sign yet. I think I see an exit sign now. Like, is that the exit? Maybe? I think that's the exit. I'm gonna look around over here because it's kind of cool first. Then we can try that exit. Yes. Classic ancient Roman guitar riffs. Just like they had in Rome. I don't know if you hear it, the guitar. Yup, guitar time. Okay. Here, give me 1 second. I need to buy more data. So you're gonna be on a be right back screen for like 30 seconds or so. But I need to get more data. Okay, are we back? sip. I guess so. Cool. Hey, I did just download more data. You shrug at it. That's what I just did. I only had 6 gigs available left. Now we're at 26. We use about 1 gig per hour. Now, if I was streaming with like Stream Elements or some other like just normal app to stream, we would be using like probably double the memory, the data, just for like a 720 stream. There we go. I'm getting my water bottle out. But we're smart, all right? We thought ahead. I paid the $10 a month so I can use a better encoder. And after this month, I'm gonna cancel it. And I'll renew it when we go to Japan. Lurkage, hello Nepe, thank you for lurking. I'm gonna keep my water bottle with me. Not right on walls. I like how we all stop to look at it and like, is this really the exit? Is it really? Give me a second, chat. There we go. Okay, we're out of there. I don't know what it is about just having the music playing and it being empty with lights on. Not full lights, but like to imitate candles. Felt weird in there. Felt really weird. These roads aren't the easiest to walk on either, since you can see how deep the cracks are. You can like fall into them, like this right here. Road is on crack, yeah. All right, we need to get out of this area as fast as possible. This is like the most touristy of the areas. Oh. Oh. Oh, look, it's Texas. Texas, look, it's a Coliseum. It's the Coliseum. Inside was pretty cool. I think the outside is still cooler than the inside, which has been the case for pretty much everything I've seen so far here in Rome, except for St. Peter's. St. Peter's inside, way cooler than the outside. Except for the dome. To get to the top of St. Peter's. You know what? No. The top part of St. Peter's isn't the coolest part. Going up the stairs is cooler than the top. The top's nice because you get your pictures of all of Rome. But like the challenge of going up like the 530 something stairs, or 50 something stairs, like 550 something stairs. And these are like, it gets narrower and narrower and the walls start getting slanted and stuff. That's cool. The outside of St. Peter's, The big outside part in front of St. Peter's, very cool. Sistine Chapel, outside and inside, I'll tell you this, mid. I already told Brandon about it, my experience in the Sistine Chapel. It was not great. I can retell it. This yellowish wall is pretty cool. Oh no. It's gonna block us. Here, we'll cross the street. We were inside the Coliseum today as well. And went to the Roman Forum. I don't know if you can see, but there's like stuff up there. We just have to get out of this area because this is where all the tours are and all the people trying to get excuse me, trying to get your money. Trying to skamaz you. I mean, there's no car. There's no car.
You have your tickets? Español, chico?
Anytime I see a priest with a long garb like that, I'm like, oh shit, it's Assassin's Creed. Oh, is this the metro station? I see.
Li ho disturbato. Vediamo quando viene Andrea.
So we can either take the metro, or I can just call an Uber. I'll be honest, it's probably way easier. Like, it's a lot cheaper to take the metro, but if we're streaming, I can just take an Uber.
Oh yeah. Inside it's pretty cool as well. So the so underneath the Colosseum.
Stavo a leggere un ragionamento di un tizio su Instagram che dice quando le grandi distanze non si riesce a
Let me tighten this. There we go. It is still cool. Like, if the bus wasn't here right now. But yeah, I think so far, by far, St. Peter's has been the coolest thing. That wasn't on stream. The second coolest thing was that big monument we got on top of. Coliseum was alright. It's pretty cool. Pantheon? 5 out of 10. No. 6 out of 10. It's cool how old it is. The outside is cool. The inside was very underwhelming. Maybe it would have been cooler if it was raining or something. Right now are going to go and find food. But the first step in finding food is to get as far away as possible from this. Step 1, get away from it. Step 2, get good food. Here, we can get good pictures over here. Alright, wait for the bus and the car to go.
Dove stanno?
That's a cool picture. Alright, and a picture for mom. You can't see this, chat. You're not allowed. Alright, cool. Let's go. cars. I'm debating on just renting a scooter. We can do that. Oh no, we can't. I don't have the. Well, I guess I have you guys on my book bag. It won't be a good angle. But I did have a scooter mount at the hostel. Look, more things. More things.
Pesa aí, Tichin. Deixa eu ver, né, mano? Já li, mano.
Coliseum was not open. It was open. We went inside already. Look, we've been live for 3 hours. The first thing we did was go into the Coliseum. We went to the Coliseum, then we went to some other place, I forget, and then we went to the Roman Forum. So, yeah, it's open. We could get some gelato. Can I get what's your sizes for gelato? Oh,
Scoops, 3, 4.
okay, I did 2 scoops.
Okay.
What do you recommend?
Hazelnut, stracciatella, cinnamon. They are all good.
They're all good?
Yes.
Okay. You think mixing cinnamon with hazelnut, that's gonna work or not?
Cinnamon with hazelnut, yes.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Card or cash?
Card?
You have to.
Oh, it's right there.
Retry? Okay.
Alright.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. We got our gelato. Yeah, we're gonna relax for a little bit. Oh god, it's melting so fast. I need to like actively work on this.
Ja, der Concerto-Platz
Sai pigli per il culo? Sembra di infatti.
Okay. I think it's in a good spot. It was melting on my hand. It's too high. It is a bit too high. It started melting immediately. Ah. Her recommendation was good shot. The cinnamon's so good. Okay, I'll pull up chat again so I can see what's happening. We're just eating. We're just eating for a while. See, I feel way better now. Got something in me.
La regola del assessoramento gli rimane a loro, vero? Gaat gewoon.
I'm thinking now we might not. I don't know. I'm debating if I want to go to Spanish Steps today or just call it a lazy day. Similar to yesterday where I just did like one or two things and then try to rest. Because I do need to go and plan out what we're doing in Florence and what I'm doing in Venice. We always have another day in Rome on our last day, so we can always hit the Spanish Steps in. I think that's fine. Because like, at least with Rome, we had like a half plan, and then we winged the rest of it. Currently, we're just winging all of it for the other two cities, and that's probably not the play. Ooh, a thing. That might be the play. But I do see an obelisk up ahead. So that's a sign for something. It's a sign for something. Straight ahead. We'll see what it is. We'll probably determine if I stop stream. Because if I do, I don't know if I'll start that up again today or if I'll start it up when I get to Florence. Original plan was to do only Colosseum and then end stream and then start stream up in about like 6 hours. Excuse the cough. We've had that for a few weeks now. But we do still need a plan. I'm not sure if my chat's not working. Let me check this thing. Chat. Oh. Oh, it should be working. There we go. Yeah, you know how people, when they go to the beach, they suck in their gut? Usually like early 20-somethings. They're like holding their breath the whole time. All self-conscious. Since I'm in Italy, I've just been letting it out. These people aren't going to see me again. At least not for over a year. So I'm walking out, big belly first. That's how they know. That's how you know you're from the States. Like, oh, okay. Gotta go to the office. See ya, Texas. Waddle. Those waddies here. Texas, keep your computer on at home. It's worth the electricity. People giggle, no, but camera looks like you waddle. I'm waddling kind of because my legs are so tired. I am waddling. Here, this is me not waddling. Is that better now? Okay, cool. I'm going back to the waddle. You want to see how I was walking yesterday? Yesterday, I was not walking straight. I was in so much pain.
Triplo richiamo, calzini. Sei arrivata presto? Meglio di così.
Yesterday, chat, I was walking like this. Just like this, the entire day. Because my legs were hurting so much. Okay, now I'm back to normal. I was walking like I shat myself the whole day. I'm happy I didn't go over there. Look at all the people over there. Ooh, this is cool. Look at this. Again, not on the itinerary. We didn't. Excuse me. We didn't plan for this. We never planned for it. I need to finish this ice cream because it's starting to leak from the bottom a lot. All right, we need to find some like a trash bin or something. Yeah, I'm not seeing one anywhere. Okay, I can pull the phone out again. I just have to hold on to this, I guess. Man, I can stare leaking from the bottom. Don't stare at my leaky bottom. Oh, it's the other side. I do like the obelisks that they have here. I think one of the guides said there's 11 obelisks in the city, 3 of which are fake. Only 8 are like original. I like how the guide today was very straightforward. She was like, the barbarians came and destroyed our aqueducts. And then in the Middle Ages, the people pillaged all of these ancient structures for their metal and destroyed them. She sounded really upset about it. And my first guide, his whole thing was, he loves talking about architecture. So it was like, yeah, the Gothic wars happened, but like people think that caused all of Rome to fall. No, and he talked about like the same thing, that in the Middle Ages they would remove, and he wouldn't say pillage, that they would remove the precious metals from ancient Roman structures, and they would remove chunks of marble. And he was like, yeah, all of these things you would go up and get like permits to remove it and like mine from there. Other stuff and build churches. It was like everything that was built later on was built literally from the Roman Empire. And he like tried to spin it in a way that wasn't like they just pillaged these ancient beautiful monuments. But the tour today was like, oh my God, these bastards, these barbarians. Oh, there's a trash can. I found one. Look, I blame lead-free. Lead-free destroyed the aqueducts. All right? And it's his fault that we lost all the knowledge because there was the Germanic wars. They should have just got integrated. But no, they attacked when they were at their weakest. It's almost like there's a history with Germans. Nodders blame the Germans for all issues. Yeah, that seems about right. We're gonna sit down over here because I want to get a picture. We'll sit down over here so I get a picture of this church. It's very nice. Very pretty. Ooh, we can sit over there though in the center. Let's do that. We're gonna sit over in the center so we get a perfect view of the church. There's also this saying that I wish the cough would go away. I think that's probably the one thing I want to remember the most from the trip is having this terrible, terrible cough. Which kind of sucks. Do you know Germany is one of the few countries that ever declared war on the U.S.? Yeah, not many people are brave enough to do so. And guess what? Germany found out the hard way why people don't do that. Granted, they found out the hard way from most of the allies. Japan declared war too. They found out the real hard way. Hitler, you mean war? Yeah. Hold on, let me get a picture of this. I won't see chat for a little bit. Oh god, my hair covered the camera. There's an Italian couple in front of us arguing. Because it's in Italian, it sounds so much nicer. They're going through a war of love, passion, and loss. Oh, it's so nice to sit down. Chad, you know, sitting is just really nice. Overall, it's wonderful. I love sitting. Italy also declared war on the U.S. at the same time. Yeah, but like they lost early. I think we helped. Was it us or was it the French? No, it wasn't the French. It was someone. Maybe the Australians. They like held off at some point. We fucked them up in Africa. We pushed Italy out of Africa, and then they were like, and Hitler wasn't sure. Hitler thought we were going to attack from the south through Italy, because he called it the soft underbelly. And then we hit them in Normandy. That's how the World War II played out, right? I think so. Through Italy, but the Alps turned away. Yeah, but they thought we were going to take over Italy. Like, Germany literally called Italy their soft underbelly because Mussolini, he thought Mussolini wasn't a good leader, and their army was weak. I'm gonna get a picture for Mom, so you guys aren't gonna see for a second, but that's okay. All right, I got the picture for Mom. Yup, selfie, yeah. All my pictures are pictures of things, and then right after I turn around, I do a selfie, and it's like, all right, I send this to mom. You know what's crazy? Yesterday, I was tired. I was in that area, that big open area in front of St. Peter, and I was like, wait up. It's like 3 p.m. That means it's like 9, almost 10 p.m. for my parents, or a.m. So like, they must have just woken up. So I immediately FaceTimed them, or at least like I did a video call with WhatsApp, so we wouldn't get charged, which was kind of cool, because then they got to see like that whole area, and I was able to talk to them for a bit, which was nice. I haven't talked to them much throughout the whole trip, other than like sending pictures, and like giving updates of like whether my flights are good or not. And my mom wanted to see everything around. My dad, on the other hand, he was like, he didn't care for pictures of me. He didn't care about pictures of Italy or ancient structures. He said, yo, what do the cars look like? Send me pictures of the cars and the license plates. He wanted to see how European cars were different from US cars. He was like, I heard the license plates look weird. I heard the cars are small. And you know what? He's right. License plates do look weird here. The cars are small. It took me a little bit to like be like, what's going on? When I saw a lot of like Italian army guys with their rifles out, I was like, huh. That doesn't usually happen in the US. Like, you don't see the army, you see like police with that. If it's like in a crowded area or a big tourist area, or like not even a big tourist area, like a big event is happening, you might see that. Or like if there's a big protest, like cops will be around and they'll be strapped. But walking everywhere in Rome, you'll see actual like just military army people out and about with the rifles. And it's just a thing they have here where like the army can enforce civilian law. Also, cars are a lot more expensive in Europe because taxes and stuff. Oh, I see. You see. I need something to drink. Here. Since we're sitting down, I'm going to take a sip, take a dip. Can't take a rip. There's marijuana places here, chat. I don't think I thought they weren't allowed in Italy. I'm gonna double check. But I saw places that look like cannabis shops. And they have big signs for them too. Oh, they're CBD shops. I see. They're on their way. It starts with CBD, then they allow the THC. Italy's CBD ban suspended until January. Is cannabis legal in Italy? It's ambiguous whether it's legal in Italy. Okay, they're getting to it. They're figuring it out. Army stuff is different per country. They can't do that in my country. Yeah, they can't do that there. They can't do that in the US. Like, we have laws where like the army is not allowed to enforce civilian law at all. But they've been doing that here, I think they said 2008 or 18, one of the two, to have a fast response in case of any type of like terrorist attacks in Rome. And then every time people explain it online, they'll say that, and then right after it's like, and guess what? We haven't had any attacks, so I guess it's working. So I guess so. Get weed to help with the cough? No. This morning I woke up and I felt terrible. I woke up at 2:30 a.m. Felt absolutely terrible. Had a sharp pain in my back. Like, it was like the upper right side of my back. I'm guessing it was like my right lung or something, because I would take a deep breath and then there would be pain there. It was all dark in the room. I couldn't turn on. I guess I could, but I wasn't going to turn on the lights because everyone was asleep. I took a hot shower in like the community bath instead of the room bath. And then even that didn't, like, it helped. And it was helpful enough to get me to go to sleep again. But in my groggy state, even after that shower, I didn't like dry off enough. So when I woke up slightly damp and feeling gross and freaking out that I was late for my tour. And I was in pain again. So that sucks. All I did after waking up was quickly like change all my clothes. Changed all my clothes. I had to put my hair up because my hair was super damp. Look at this hair. This hair can hold moisture, all right? It can hold a lot of moisture. Hair tie. And blah, blah, blah. And I got to the Coliseum like just in time. But I forgot to like bring my mic. Like, I brought my microphone and stuff. I forgot to bring like the one wire I need. I left the room all in shambles too. I need to go back and clean up. Today's my last day, my last concurrent day in Rome, chat. So tomorrow I'll be in Florence. Tomorrow I'll be in Florence around midday. I think, yeah, around noon or 1. I get to Florence. We'll spend 3 nights there, essentially 1.5 days. Is it 3 nights? 1? No, we spent 2 nights, 1.5 days. The Pegasaur for the north. I guess the one nice thing, I think I can scare pickpockets away, chat. All I do is I start coughing like that, and then everyone around me walks away from me. They all leave. It's a good deterrent. Scatter, exactly. People do scatter. The roommates in my hostel are really cool. Like, the one girl, she's like from South Carolina. The other dude, he's I don't know where he's from, I forget. But the one dude in my hostel, he's like on a month-long European tour, and this is like his time in Italy right now. I forget how long the girl's been here. Maybe you should see a doctor for a checkup on lungs. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I was thinking of just waiting to go back to the States to do that. But maybe I do need to get a checkup. It'll probably be good to like go to the doctor and be like, hey, I had COVID at this time, and I took this medication, and it fixed all my symptoms, and I stopped taking medication, and now I have this cough, and it sucks. Your travel insurance should cover the doctor visit. Yeah, the problem is I don't want to go to the doctor here. I don't want to spend time going to the doctor here. Time's important. Also, I don't know where I have my travel insurance. I have to find where that is. I have it somewhere. Forehead, I usually skip going to the doctor too. I usually skip going to the doctor. Unless something, which this is, I think this was happening for like a week prior to me getting here. Was it a week or like week and a half? No, it was COVID for a week, then this cough was for a week, and then now I'm here for like another week. So by the time I get out of Italy, it's gonna be 3 weeks if it persists consistently. I think that's long enough if it's happening for 3 weeks to go to the doctor, get checked up on. I think 2 weeks should probably be it, but I'm already here. And right now I feel good. My back doesn't hurt now. Did I even take medicine this morning? I don't think I did. They're still arguing. That's crazy. That's crazy. They're still going. He's a necessito. It's necessary. What he's talking about is necessary. Yeah, I picked up some words. Difference. So it's 8 a.m. in the East Coast. Holy shit. That's too early. Wait, Grazin, where are you at? I'm pretty sure you told me before. Also, I need to tie my shoes, so I can't see your answer just yet. Or in the north. And I was like, those are the coolest. They're all like smaller roads. They're a lot quieter. It's pretty loud over here. I might just call an Uber. Yeah, that's gonna be the play. I'm calling an Uber. I'm gonna head back to my hotel. Like most of your viewers, I'm Swedish. I think we do have a large Swedish audience. Okay. Yeah. I think that's the plan. I need to prep. I need to prep for the rest of the trip. And I don't feel like doing anything else right now. I could go out and get food, but I'm in an area that seems very car-centric, and I don't like that. So, yeah. Who's live? Who can we raid? I might be live later today, like in like 4 or 5 hours. And if I'm not live in 4 or 5 hours, then that means I was planning for Florence and prepping my stuff instead. Box is sleeping. Crap. Okay, let me check viewership. I want to go over here. We can look at this thing. They're praising. Go into this little park. Hopefully it's quieter while I look for people to raid. Box is sleeping. See, normally I'll drink water and it stops me from coughing. I should be doing that. I don't know why I'm not doing that. All right. I don't know who to send you. I might just end it. We might just end. Yeah. That's probably the play. There's no one really to raid. Goodbye, have a good trip and get better. I will try to do all those things. Thank you for hanging out, Grogden, and anyone else who's lurking. It's gonna take me a minute to actually end, but I have to connect to my computer at home. Okay, I connected. Bye-bye. I'll see you later. Mouse, bye-bye. Oh wait, Reaver just got here. No, we're ending right now. I'm coughing too much and I need to prep for Florence. See ya.